If we as leaders want to have an impact beyond our own capacity, then we have to learn what it looks like to raise up and develop young leaders around us. Leaders who have a passion for God's call in their life, know who they are and the skills and the gifts that they have. I want to share with you today a really simple tool that should help us in the way in which we develop young leaders around us. It's called safety nets and tight ropes. And the idea behind this model is to create a safe space where young people feel confident and known in who they are, but also have opportunities to stretch and challenge themselves, stepping outside of their comfort zone into all that God has for them. So to start with, I need you to draw a star. And in the middle of that star, I want you to write you. Leadership development isn't just a series of techniques and skills that we learn, but it's a culture that we carry. If we want to grow leaders around us, we need to be growing in our leadership ourselves. So as I talk through this model, I want you to be thinking, how does this stuff apply to my life? Where can I put these things in place in my own life so that I can grow leaders around me? To start with, I want to talk you through the 3 safety nets. The first is a culture of encouragement. In 1 Corinthians 14:3, Paul makes a really strong link between prophecy and encouragement. And as a church, we want to be building up and growing leaders who know who they are, who know who God has called them to be, and the gifts and the skills that they carry. And if we want to create a culture of encouragement, we need to be really intentional about this, seeing the gold in the young people and calling the best out of them. The second is mentoring and accountability. This isn't one of those quick fix things that we can put into place really quickly. It's going to take time and effort to develop the deep relationships of accountability that are required to see young people step into all that God has for them. We need to have a multi-generational approach to youth ministry that says to the older members of our congregation and in our context that actually you have something really important to bring to our young people. So just think about who are the people in your churches, in your contexts, who can come in, who have wisdom and skills and experience that our young people need to hear. Get them involved in your youth ministries. And mentoring and accountability is also about peer accountability. Get young people to go on this journey of leadership development together. Think about how you can cultivate real deep friendships and accountable relationships between your young people. And the third safety net is training. We have access to so many amazing resources, especially at the moment. There's so many things which churches have been putting online. And we need to be generous in the way in which we think about the resources that we've got in our hands. What are the opportunities that you can give young people to be trained up and to learn more about what it means to step into leadership? If you find an amazing book or a podcast, be generous with giving that, recommending it to your young people. I think when you give something, give a resource to a young person, what it says to them is, actually, I see something in you and I want to invest in you. So there are safety nets: culture of encouragement, mentoring and accountability, and training. And then the 3 tight ropes. And these are the areas where we can really encourage our young people to step out, to put places of stretch in their life where they're stepping out of their comfort zone and into learning and growing in the capabilities and the competencies that God has already given them. And the first of these is external engagements. And this is all about getting young people outside of their normal contexts, helping them to lift their eyes, to see what life is like outside of their everyday lives, to get them to think about what it means to lead in a whole different number of areas. Think about opportunities that you can have to take your young people outside of their normal contexts, the kind of the normal, usual, regular life that they're used to, into something new and into a completely different context. The second tight rope is vision that releases vision. We want to have a vision for our youth ministries, for our student ministries, that is bigger than just reaching the young people in front of us. We need to have a vision that's bigger than just our capacity. And what that does is it creates space for young people to dream about what it means for them to lead, for them to take ownership of the vision that we've got for them. The third tight rope is real contexts. We want to create spaces where young people can really lead. It's not enough just to give a young person the opportunity to read in a church service, however good that might be to start with. We want to be creating spaces where young people can really carry weight of leadership. And think as well about the opportunities that are already in front of them in their schools, in their families, in their friendship groups. Encourage young people to be reflecting on the areas and the spaces where they're already leading in their lives, and to have conversations with them about what it means to lead well in those spaces. This model is designed to get you thinking about what it looks like to grow leaders around you. So why don't you take some time now to go through each of these areas and think about, how can I put these in place in my life, and how can I put them in place and put them into practice in the youth ministry or the context that you find yourself.